Well, Magna, this is a fascinating relay, and you still couldn't call the winner. You can't rule Norway out of this. It's still too early, particularly with the likes of Hofstad and Olsgaard on the two freestyle legs. But so much depends on whether Estil can close this 25-second gap.
Yes, and Estil have Andrus Verpalu from Estonia behind him now, and maybe Verpalu can help Estil to close the gap a little bit to Sweden and Germany, because Sweden and Germany have Elofsson and Sommerfeld at the next leg, and I think Toril Hofstad from Norway will have problems to catch up 30 seconds on these two men.
Well, Jochen Bell is obviously he's quite convinced that Sommerfeld's the right man to ski leg number 3, the first freestyle leg, but I'd be slightly worried about that. I would think that Elofsson would have a terrific chance to actually put distance between himself and the German teams and give Sweden an excellent chance of a medal, and even the brightest colour of a medal, because on the final leg, the very useful Jürgen Brink for Sweden, the bronze medalist, behind Hofstad, behind Elofsson, and as we've said so many times at these championships, if Jürgen Brink is there or thereabouts in the last 100 metres, you'd want to have some money on him, because he's a big boy with an awful lot of power.
Yes, Thomas Alsgaard is fantastic at the finish line, but he have never met Jürgen Brink, and I'm not sure that Alsgaard can manage Jürgen Brink.
But of course Sweden will hope, won't they, Magna, that it's not going to come down to that sort of sprint. Andrew Johnson still sticking in there. That's Denisov going through there for Russians, and here you can see Frode Estil. He's getting on terms with the Americans, but that's not the point. What you can see here is that Estil isn't actually closing the gap to the leaders. Fredriksson and Schluter are still well out to the front.
Yes. And Switzerland are making a fantastic work to go together with Germany and Sweden here. I'm really impressed.
Well, I'm just wondering about Switzerland. Last year at Salt Lake City, it's the women who were the heroines, getting that bronze medal. No such fortune this season, but this is a fantastic opening 10,000 metres by Burgermeister and now Beat Koch.
And Beat Koch is taking a lot of pain there, I can see.
But this is what relay racing's all about. If you were with us last afternoon, you'll have seen the Nordic combined team relay, and quite clearly Germany on paper were favourites to win that gold medal. But so often what happens in relays is that a team raises its game. It has a desire and it raises its game and achieves more than you would have thought. And that's what these two runners for Switzerland are doing. They are both raising their game.
Yes.
Verpalu in picture, just going through on the left there, and nice rhythm from Verpalu. Just behind him, that was Imai of Japan, 14. That's Emenenko of Kazakhstan. Golovko did such a great job. He has handed on to Emenenko, and I'm afraid Yuri Magal struggling there for the Czech Republic.
No. Some meters for Fredriksson.
Fredriksson breaking away now from Schluter, and this is very important, I think, because Matti Fredriksson now has the opportunity to give Per Elofsson a real advantage. I remember Sweden joint 6-4 favourites with Norway, but at the moment they're looking the hotter property than the Norwegians. And this is a tremendous run, and Matti Fredriksson disappointed not to have a medal at these championships. He came in as the World Cup leader, one of the big favourites, and in a way a little surprising that he hasn't had a medal, Magna.
No, and that's very sad for him, because his performance this year have been many times top 3, and in 3 races now no medal. So, but if you take a gold medal in the relay, I think it will be quite happy.
Oh, I think there'll be major rejoicing. His Majesty King Gustav of Sweden and Queen Sonja were here last week. They were here on the days when Sweden, you could say, underperformed and were disappointed. But look at this. This is an amazing turnaround here. Bert Koch counter-attacking, and the two of them leaving Andy Schluter behind, who doesn't look as if he's got much more to give.
No, he is very tired, Schluter, now, and he can lose about 20 seconds from this and into the finish line, I think. And that's very important for Elofsson to have a good lead of Sommerfeld.
And maybe the two races that Schluter has run taking their toll. Having said that, of course, Fredriksson's run 3. Bert Koch, well, he's run 2 races, so they're all pretty equal with the energy and effort that they've already put into these championships. But this is a tremendous performance, and I suppose Fredriksson could be quite grateful that he's actually got some help out there.
That's perfect for Fredriksson. But you see, Bidcock have better glide than Fredriksson, and this is a big surprise. Switzerland in the lead almost after 2 legs.
Yes, I don't think we could have ever imagined that Switzerland would be in that position. But here comes Matti again, and he's on the charge now. This is where I think he's got to make every second count before he reaches Per Elofsson in the stadium. This big climb is important.
Yes, and Bidcock is still going with Fredriksson. I could see one of the Swedish coaches, Jan Ottosson, who 3 times are winning the Vasaloppet, was coaching Fredriksson and screaming at him.
Well, Fredriksson staying very tough. The 29-year-old from Östersund, World Cup leader, and I think now he wants to take the advantage all the way into the stadium. I think he's got to master Bert Koch, but Bert Koch isn't going to let him get away. But I think this is great news for Fredriksson, that he's got someone to work with. Look at Andy Schluter.
He have a lot of pain right now. This is not very funny for him.
The lactate's in the legs. It's really hurting, and every meter, as you said, is going to be a really hard one. And of course, at the moment he's in 3rd place, but look what's happening behind. Here comes Frode Estil, and he's got Schluter in his sights. And is Verpalu there? I think he is.
Yes, but it's still more than 30 seconds. So Estil is not going faster than Fredriksson.
Now we'll get a time check through there, and you're absolutely right. Germany 23 seconds off the pace. 30-odd seconds back for Norway, Russia and Estonia, and 45 back for Japan, and then France in a pretty respectable 8th place. But they are the best part of a minute behind at the moment. That's Vincent Vito, the #1 Frenchman, who somewhat surprisingly for me is skiing the classic leg as opposed to the freestyle. But he's bringing France back into the competition. But now Bert Koch will not be denied. However much it's hurting, and it really is hurting, he really wants to keep the Swiss in the lead. And if he carries on like this, he's going to be handing over to Bundy, Andrea Bundy, for Switzerland on the first of the 2 skating legs. This is an outstanding performance by Switzerland in the first half of the race.
It's unbelievable that Switzerland can be in the lead after 2 legs in Classic. And very, very lucky for Mattias Fredriksson from Sweden that he has Switzerland there with him. Now Frode Estil is pushing very, very hard and is up in the 3rd position now. And you can see Schluter at the 4th position, very tired.
So out into the tracks in the stadium come the men who are going to take on the responsibility, and we're going to move on to the 5-kilometer east track for freestyle, and Bert Koch will just not be denied. This is a private race for Bert Koch. He really wants to defeat Matti Fredriksson, and at the moment he's getting the better of the argument, and you've got to say that this is a tremendous run. But Fredriksson on the inside there, he's in the right trail as we come down to the horseshoe to take that advantage. But he might not win Bert Koch in terms of distance, but I tell you what, morally, he's won a tremendous personal head-to-head fight with Matti Fredriksson. So Matti Fredriksson hands over to the world champion of pursuit, Per Elofsson, whereas for Switzerland now, it's John Andrea Bundy he who must try and live with one of the greatest skiers in the world at this time. And Frode Estil has given everything. He's a clear third, and he's going to hand over to the pursuit silver medalist, Tore Hofstad, who is a terrific runner. But can Hofstad close this gap? And if he does close this gap, what's he going to have left at the end when he hands over to Thomas Ulsgaard? Coming into fourth place now at this exchange, it's Estonia, who are behind the Norwegians, so Verpalu's done a pretty good job, but there's still 35 seconds to make up on Per Elofsson. And running now for Estonia, Jack Mai. For Russia, Denisov has done well, and he's given it now to Novikov. Novikov being pursued for France by Emmanuel Jonier, who's taken on the responsibility from Vincent Vito. And Japan, Imai, who now has handed over to Horigome. So those are the leaders, and this is the situation back front. Per Elofsson and just the Americans handing over now onto the freestyle leg, and for the United States it's Justin Wadsworth, the most senior man in the team, who now has to try and tough it out, Magna, to give Carl Swenson a chance to reclaim the ground that Chris Freeman gave the Americans early on.
Yeah. Per Elofsson in the lead, and still with Switzerland in the back, and Per Elofsson have only one thing to do right now, and that is to go at his maximum speed and to try to open the gap even more to Norway and Germany especially.
Yes, this is a slightly strange situation. Did we think that we would find Per Elofsson in this situation? I don't think we did.
No, we was expecting that Norway should be in the lead after the classic distances, but Anders Aukland at the first leg was not very successful with his performance, and not with his skis either, and so they are 25 seconds in back now.
The diminutive figure of Christian Hoffmann handing over for Austria, who are all of 2 minutes and 17 seconds behind. So Austria at the back, just preceding them Finland, and Italy, the host nation, a very disappointing 1 minute and 42 seconds off the pace.